Alright, so unfortunately, I literally recorded a whole video of me building the world's most simple Bible app without including the audio with the recording. So instead of re recording the whole thing, I decided I would do a voiceover. And this is just another video that I had been meaning to roll out. I was originally about to do some more work towards my uh, a big paper that I have to write, and I guess with the way that the day is going, I figured I just felt like coding and, just kept it something fairly simple. And so, yeah, so what you're seeing is, with the Bible has 66 books. And with a simple app, you obviously don't want to make it too hard. I would say that this is pretty beginner friendly, not day one beginner friendly, but this is something good if you're trying to learn JavaScript and a little bit of HTML, see how elements work and see how JavaScript works. But yeah, there are a couple of different ways to approach it. One way is maybe trying to do everything through an API. That may have actually been easier on my end because the data, when you're dealing with some external APIs, the data is structured in a well documented way, and they have like documentation to show you how to use it with whatever app you're building. Me, on the other hand, what I did was I downloaded the whole Bible in a JSON file. JSON is JavaScript object notation, and what it does is it allows you to store large amounts of data in without taking up too much space. And so on the developer's end, our job is to parse through that data and to output the desired results, maybe it be of the client or depending on what app we're building. So what I did here was I took the JSON file, I added it to my project folder, and I just did a JavaScript fetch. And what that does is it um, essentially goes and grabs data and it brings it back to the app that you're using, and then it's up to you, the code that you write, to parse through that data and to format it and display it however you please. And the reason I took this approach is because I didn't want to rely on an external API and I didn't want to rely on a database. I figured with the Bible, since it doesn't change, it's not like it's not a document that um, constantly is being updated. I felt that it was a good idea just to have a JSON file in the project folder and just to reference that with the different books, the chapters, and the verses. And in the initial setup, what I did was just assign a variable to the book. Here it says let book, and then the book is literally the Bible. Um, and it's a big array. And if you are using JavaScript or learning JavaScript, I'd say it's really important to learn the different data types. Array is very common. Um, Objects are very common. You definitely need to learn how to work your way around arrays and objects because those are everywhere. And they are good ways, different ways to store and reference data that you need for your application. And so at this juncture, I'm still relaying or trying to fit the data into the select elements instead of typing it all out. You don't want to hard code 66 books. What you want to do is grab the data, loop through the data, and then dynamically make options to select based off of the book data. And that's the plan for this whole thing. The plan is to loop through all of the books, select the book, and then once you select the book, each book has its own number of chapters. And so when you select a chapter, you should only be able to select a chapter um, that corresponds with the book that has been selected. So you don't want to select Third John and you go to select a chapter and you get 12, 15, 20 different chapters where it's a book that only has one chapter. And vice versa, you don't want to go through select Genesis, or you want to select the book of Psalms, and you have a drop down that only contains one or five, where there's 150 Psalms in there. I think 50 chapters in the book of Genesis. And so the reason I took this approach is because I believe it's really practical. It's a nice little hands-on approach, and for those who are still curious, very curious about this, they get to see what goes on the day to day. I will admit this isn't my best work, but what happened is it's late at night, and I really didn't feel like putting this off any longer. I have been thinking about this, and you know, you have the more robust apps that take days and weeks to build, but I did want to get some nice, good development content out there, and I felt that this was a good way. And even though there's not the sound here, unfortunately, what you would hear and what you would see is just me working through some issues. One big issue that I ran into while building this is, for some reason, even when I assigned the select elements variables, for some reason, while I was looping through the whole book object, it wouldn't reference the elements how I was expecting them. Now, that could be because I'm tired and I just need some fresh eyes to look at it. And I mean, it could be something that I have yet to discover. But anywho, the fact is, whenever you're building something, you are going to encounter some random difficulty out of left field, and some things that you may expect to take 15 minutes to build could easily take an hour. And that's not because you're a bad developer. Sometimes that's just the nature of the job. There are different data sets, different environment variables and settings that somehow cause your code to act in the way that you're not expecting. So, I mean, the bottom line is your job is to solve problems. So even that is a problem where you have to solve on the fly. All right, so we made it to the end. We made it to the end. I'm just putting the finishing touches on here, and what you are about to see is an app that is functioning as it should. So you select a book, a chapter, and a verse. Wait, not yet. I just have to correctly assign the variable to display up front. And then once I do that, you'll see that once you select the book, a chapter, and a verse, and then that is what you see on the front end. So that's why I say that this is the most simple Bible app that you'll be able to find. it's not robust or anything. And then what I was saying at the end of this video is that if you made it this far, and if you're watching, if you're curious about this, I would like you to comment and let me know how you would like me to improve this and add upon this and build upon it. And then hopefully we have some nice updates in the future.